Hi everyone, I'm Ian. The Wii U kinda sucked, but there were some games on it that were actually pretty good. So, what does Nintendo do? Let those games die on the Wii U? No, why would they do that? Instead, Nintendo ported them to the Switch, and oh boy was that a decision.
Wii U. The Wii U flopped, so when Nintendo released the Switch, they had to bring some of the Wii U's games over to it to save them.
From hell.
So let's take a look at every single Wii U game that was brought to the Switch, starting off with the year 2017, where 4 games were ported over. The first of them being Breath of the Wild. Now, this one really makes sense. I mean, Breath of the Wild was released day and date as the Switch, but Wii U owners were promised that they would be getting the same game as well, so it ended up releasing on both. This ended up becoming one of the best-selling Switch games so far, so it was a smart move to release it on the Wii U and Switch. The next game to get ported to the Switch from the Wii U makes a little less sense. LEGO City Undercover. LEGO City wasn't a bad game, and it was actually quite popular, but it released within the first year of the Wii U, 2013, so any hype for it was long gone. The only big problem with the game was that it was actually supposed to start a big series of LEGO City games, but it only ever ended up releasing 2. LEGO City The Chase Begins on the 3DS, and LEGO City Undercover. Getting released first on Nintendo consoles wasn't a great choice. They did later release it on other consoles, but it was too late. The re-release to Switch didn't really end up helping it. At that point, it was a 4-year-old game, and even Wii U games had come a long way since then. The next game from 2017 is one that ended up working out very well, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. For some reason, when Nintendo re-released it for the Switch, they added Deluxe, probably to help differentiate it from the Wii U version, and it was worth it. They changed a lot with the game. HD rumble, better resolution, some menu changes, but one of the most devastating changes is the removal of the Miiverse. Other than that, they also ended up including all DLC up to that point in the Switch version, so that's nice. This was a well done port, and up until recently it was still getting DLC, with the final being released on November 9th, 2023. The final 2017 re-release is a game that was very well received, but to me it's kind of boring. Pokken Tournament DX. This game is cool. I mean, you get to fight as Pokemon in a Tekken style game, but I don't really care about this one. They ended up not changing much with the port. It got new characters and models, but it added split screen mode and had frame rate issues. Moving along to 2018, 5 games were brought to the Switch, the first of which is Bayonetta 2. I don't really know anything about this game. It's got a shape-shifting witch, and sold pretty good. Up next is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, the most recent of the Donkey Kong Country games. What was once a beloved series on the SNES and later the Wii, Tropical Freeze was less well received, but still popular. They ended up not making too many changes with this port. They bumped up the resolution from 720p to 1080p, and loading times are better. They ended up not making any changes to gameplay though, other than adding Funky Mode, which allowed you to play as Funky Kong. The next re-release is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which actually also got a 3DS release, so there are 2 portable versions of this game. The 3DS and Switch versions of this game are almost the same, and quite a few changes were made. One of the biggest is that in the Wii U version, there are levels that are based on Super Mario 3D World. These were removed and replaced with levels based on Super Mario Odyssey. For the Switch, this makes sense. The main Mario game on it is Super Mario Odyssey, but it would have been cool to maybe have a new Super Mario Bros. Version of these levels on the 3DS instead of Odyssey. Other than this, the Switch version lets you use the gyroscope and the Joy-Cons to control the on-screen pointer in docked mode, but in handheld mode, you still use the touchscreen. This is a very good game that I would highly suggest if you enjoy puzzle games. It's a well-made, fun Toad game. The second to last game brought to the Switch for 2018 was Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. This is a hack and slash game, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it is cool that there are characters from all 3D Zelda games. The only real difference between the Switch version is the new Link and Zelda costumes were added for Breath of the Wild. Cool. The final game ported to the Switch in 2018 is the Pinball Arcade. Woo! It's a pinball game. What am I supposed to say? It released on almost everything. PlayStation, Xbox, Android, iPhone, even the Kindle Fire TV. It didn't get any changes with the Switch version though. But what is there to change? It's pinball. Moving along to 2019, there was actually only one game brought to Switch. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and oh boy is that a mouthful. This version of the game mainly combined New Super Mario Bros. U and New Super Luigi U, an expansion for the game. Other than that, minor changes were made, along with updating the graphics to look better. It's nothing huge, but it is a pretty good game, a quite traditional 2D New Super Mario Bros. Game. 2020 had 2 boring games and one that was huge. Let's start with the boring. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore, an anime game. It's turn-based and doesn't really interest me. Moving along, Wonderful 101 Remastered, another hack and slash game. It received generally positive reviews when it released. Nothing special. Now for the big one, Pikmin 3. This was even big on the Wii U, so it was nice to see it brought to a console that people actually wanted. After an 8-year gap from Pikmin 2, this was very wanted. The port actually added a whole new prologue and epilogue, along with all the DLC from the Wii U version. They also made quite a few quality of life improvements. You can rapid throw Pikmin at enemies you're locked onto, you can recall all Pikmin from your ship, and of course they added multiplayer. This was a very well received port, and it was very needed, so good on Nintendo. Finally, we have 2021, the last year to receive Wii U ports, and we only have 2. The first of which is Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater. I don't really know much about this game. You have a camera and take pictures of ghosts. That's about it. And then there was the big one, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. A huge game and an amazing DLC. Quite a few small changes were made. Better FPS, motion controls instead of touch controls, and some UI changes. This was a very well worth it port. Super Mario 3D World was already a very good game, so being able to play it on the Switch is nice, and having Bowser's Fury added for free is a nice touch.
Some of these ports make sense, some don't. But am I glad that they happened? Absolutely. A lot of these games are great, and having them brought to a system that people actually bought is awesome. I wish Nintendo brought over a few more games, like maybe Wind Waker HD, but I'll live with the ones that they did.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing, hit subscribe. And if you have any recommendations for videos to make, leave it in the comments.